I can't hear you. It's so loud.
Don't you talk over my parts, guys.
What did you say?
I think you said the token character from South Park is racist.
Did you know Control D unmute your mic?
Tolkien.
Who keeps saying they want the D?
I think there's an L in there.
We're playing Fortnite too, right? Is that what's going on?
Everyone.
Everyone to the plus. Come on, let's manage ourselves.
Only mad.
My ears are. Oh, my ears are bleeding.
Control D actually unmutes the mic. Didn't know that before.
God.
Yep.
Things we learn.
May I take your order, please? She beef, she pork.
Anytime now.
Goddamn Mongolians.
That needs to be updated too, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Culture has less hair in that one.
Yes, he does. Yes, it is loud noises, everybody. You know it's the dump when the countdown makes your ears bleed. Welcome.
What happens if we take a dump?
You just can't show your actually taking the dump, or YouTube will bring us.
Oh no,
take us down.
I was gonna Photoshop my face over Dr. Disrespect's picture from E3 2 years ago.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
that would be awesome.
Nice. Welcome everybody to the dump. My name is Scott. This is Sporking News Podcast. If you're new here, which 33% of you usually are for a dump stream, please make sure you subscribe to, well, mostly me. The other people on this panel, but mostly me. Thank you.
Who taught Scott about analytics? Because now we're going to be listening to percentages. And
I found the button. Yeah, I was pretty impressed. I was like, what does this mean? Why is it all dudes who watch me? That's where they're wrong. There are a couple females like Tina Bojan and Nikki D, but yet it says like 100% men.
I actually did research, Scott.
As it should be.
Right.
I did research, Scott. Most of your dump streams are actually broadcasted live on most bathhouse TVs. That's probably why your male audience is so big.
And on Twitch.
Well,
Hi, Twitch.
yeah. Well, hello Twitch and hello bathhouses.
Don't drop your towel.
I don't like
Explains the high Greek population.
Find a friend, wash your back, and let's introduce the panel. The first person in the panel, we have the beautiful Nerd Cookies with us tonight.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Good to be here.
And it's good to have you here. Thank you for being here tonight.
Of course.
We also have Fat Steven Seagal with us this fine evening.
He didn't pay me.
Hi,
everybody. Yeah, you know what I do, and I'm here. And I thank you, Scott, for the invite.
Of course. It's nice to have you here. We also have Mr. Grant Gregory.
Oh, that's me. Hello.
Yes.
That's
Happy to
right
be
there.
here. I just can't wait to take a big Wednesday dump, even though it's Thursday.
Yeah, you're confused.
Yep.
It's Wednesday where it counts.
Yeah, I've caught Biden, so I'm a little confused.
Well, thank you for being here tonight. We also have an author with us that may not agree that Tolkien is racist.
More importantly, he's a Texan.
Storyman Jack.
All right.
Hello.
How are you, my friend?
Hey, so you guys aren't getting paid?
No one's getting paid. No one. Mad, and the next guest, Mad, is actually paying me. Mad Martigan, or Mad the Magnificent, or Mad
Cheesemo. Yeah, I forgot to change it. That's my Tuesday name. It's me. Hey, Elaine, I just wanted to say, before I told anybody how I felt about Dune, I made sure to watch your review of it first. I'm like, okay, no, all right. I had the right think. So thank you for that.
Oh, well, good. Glad you enjoyed it.
I didn't watch the whole thing. To be honest, I did not watch the whole video.
Well, that's sweet though that you cared.
Once I had the positive.
No, Elaine, he didn't care. He was plagiarizing you.
Yes.
No, I wasn't.
You just said you watched it to make sure you had the right think.
Yes.
But he didn't make a video.
Is he passively aggressively saying all women are right? Don't argue. Is that what
No, he does not like women.
No, that is not even close.
Well, it seems like he just said that. That kind of goes against his narrative, doesn't it?
Like his perfect movie is Spartacus.
Because he calls his name out.
Yeah, just all.
I like that show. Yeah, I like that series. It was sad that when
Oh, when he
man.
passed away.
Yeah.
Andy Whitfield.
Andy
yeah.
Whitfield. He was a fantastic Spartacus.
He really was.
And you know who else looks like Spartacus? Culture Casino.
Hi guys, Coast Casino here. I have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to all these amazing other people. Although Elaine has a huge channel, and she deserves it. She has incredible lore videos. Fat Steven is very entertaining on YouTube and other places. And you have, of course, Mad Martigan and Storyman, who are just amazing with what they do. I think Storyman's one of the best writers you're going to find in our independent community. And then, of course, you have Mr. Grant Gregory from Australia, who is awesome on his own merits. And I can't wait for him to dig deeper into his content. So thank you guys for being here today.
Real deep.
Hold on. Hey, Jack, do you feel a little insulted that we were like bunched together while everybody else individually was praised by Casino?
Yeah, Jack, you're a better writer.
We're Texans. We gotta stick together. Now.
Yeah,
Truthfully, he praised Jack, but yet
in all your bunch, yeah.
But he
gets
kind of
in there.
threw you in, so you didn't feel left
you're
out.
The one who got thrown in.
Yeah. Darius Münchausen, member for 2 months at the hot pie level, says, "Hail Sporking Sporkerz." He also got us a sticker there, and the sticker is of
a bucket
something.
of popcorn. Bucket of popcorn. $1.49 is traditional super sticker. Thank you for that, Darius Münchausen.
Thank you very, very much. So who's in the chat? Who do we have in the chat?
Thank you, Parrot.
Let's see. Oh, we got Nick Cookies in the chat. Hi, Nick.
Hey, Scott.
Why don't you read it off?
Yeah, Parrothead says, Culture will shave his head before George R.R. Martin will finish his books. True story.
Well, Parrothead, why?
Elaine, you're slumming it with us? I'm sorry.
By the way, Darth Tauriel, the elf, says, what?
That was a euphemism for never, right?
No, he's going. Come, guys. Look, Nerd Cookies, will you agree?
And it is a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
And that's how I feel about the books.
You want yourself some more glory hole?
I want glory hole version. I want George R.R. Martin's version of the glory hole. The last 2 books.
He'll be dead before that book finishes.
A book with a hole in it?
Am I using the term glory hole wrong?
Yeah. You and pretty much the Dallas Cowboys fans are using that term wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mic was muted this whole time.
Oh wow!
No.
I was laughing, Mike.
We missed some really good YouTube there.
But wasn't he also helping out with Elden Ring,
gosh.
that game that's coming out as well? So he's been like going back and forth from many different projects, but he's been helping with Elden Ring, and that's releasing later on in the next few months.
He's also helping with the show, right, Storyman Jack?
Yeah.
What else is he doing?
And anything else they ask him to do other than write.
Right. That's right. You were correct, sir. He's going to finish the dumb books before he finishes the ones that matter to people. But hey, whatever. Toxic Man Flu for $5 says, "Oh Jesus, this panel again. Why are you slumming it, Elaine?"
It's a good question. It's a good question. It is.
I need an answer. Answer that question.
Oh, these guys are great.
See,
I haven't streamed with her.
Yeah, it just happened to align. Everything. I usually don't have Wednesdays free, so yeah, hop by when I can. It's always a good laugh.
See,
I haven't been on with her since WandaVision premiered.
Wow.
Well, all I know
When
is
was
this.
that?
Yeah, when
That was way back in the beginning of the year, like February, March area.
Yeah.
Wow, that long ago?
There's been lots of things that happened.
I have
Dune
been able
came
to
out.
watch Dune since our last discussion, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Strong take here by Soul Assassin, guys. Mad will hit 1,000 subs before the books come out.
That's actually
no, that's impossible. That is impossible. That's years from now. I can't imagine that.
All of a sudden,
according to the analytics, it is years from now.
No, it won't be.
Are you using the analytics against me?
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys.
I can say
both of you should probably pronounce it properly, or else because you can get in trouble with that word. By the way,
What analytics?
What analytics?
Analytics.
That's the worst operating system.
Oh man,
God.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, we are.
I don't go to whatever desert your compound is located at until you had to pronounce words.
Nick is in the chat. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
About us all being great guys.
About her not having Wednesdays free.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. You know what? At least you show up. So I'll give you that. Cheers. Cheers.
I feel like that was a shot to someone.
There was shots fired to a lot of people. You better. Yeah.
Answer that.
All I'm saying, shots fired to a lot of people. Ooh, I'm a big YouTuber. Ooh, I have no time. Well, guess what? I'm a little channel that needs your freaking help. Show up.
Culture,
Name names.
Culture, when he does that, you need a small violin playing in the background. Like,
oh man, I don't have. I that is not cute in the soundboard, but this is
trumpet.
Or you could do. I could get like the. I'm smart. I got passed over. Why did I get passed over? I'm smart. I know things.
SMRT. I
don't even know. Is my soundboard coming across?
Yeah,
yes.
You know what else is coming across?
Huh.
The dislike button. So why don't we bring that up and take a look at it?
We sure will. And come into the front stage.
Oh, wow. YouTube will no longer show dislike counts on videos. Goodbye, dislike mobs.
What question? Is that just on videos or streams as well?
I don't know, but I know this. This is dumb. And again, it's not done for the reasons they describe. But Scott, who's reading this one?
I would love for you to read it because I can't read.
All right. Well, say goodbye to the dislike mobs on YouTube. There aren't any. YouTube has announced that it's making dislike counts private on all videos across YouTube. The thumbs down button isn't going away. Users can stick thumbs down to dislike a video in order to inform the YouTube recommendation algorithm about content they did not like. However, when a user presses thumbs down, there will be no dislike count, letting users know how many people also disliked the video. According to YouTube, the decision comes as a result of an experiment the company conducted earlier this year. I highly doubt this.
Yeah.
The experiment found that when a user can't see the results of a dislike mobs campaign to drive up the targeted video's dislike count, they're less likely to pile on. There was actually a reduction in dislikes on videos as a result of removing the count. By the way, I have commentary on this. I'm holding.
Yeah.
YouTube says the experiment also confirmed that many creators previously told the company small channels were often the targets of these bad faith actors seeking to drive up the dislike counts. Dislike counts metrics will still be available to users in their YouTube Studio dashboard without the public count, and the dislike numbers can actually become relevant data to find out if a creator's viewership generally didn't like a video. But most importantly, online trolls will lose a major tool they utilize to discourage up-and-coming creators. YouTube will become a slightly happier place. According to YouTube, the removal of dislike counts will gradually roll out on the platform starting today.
But they'll still get the dislikes, though.
All it means is everybody who dislikes their Star Wars BS and dislikes them, that will still be disliking them.
Right.
But it won't be vocalized.
All they're going to find out is there's no such thing as mobs.
But it's not. No, it's not. It's not even about. It's partial that, but it's also coming down to advertisers. If advertisers see a video that has nothing wrong with it at all, then it seems like every content that comes out, no matter the channel, monetized or not, will automatically make them money and more advertisers go. So this is literally like false advertising to advertisers. Pretty much.
Well, not even just advertisers. If you think about it, it's also these large corporations that YouTube is now bending their algorithm and their rules towards. It's those like Disney, where they get a lot of dislikes for a video or a trailer they think is going to be great. What happens? Okay, they get a lot of dislikes. People start piling on because people agree with that this trailer was terrible. And what does that do? Disney gets pissed off with YouTube. So what does YouTube find out? Okay, we will get more money from advertisers and probably these other corporations, and they'll want to use our platform more if we get rid of the dislike button. It's also they don't like the narrative of people out there actually have opinions that things suck. Okay, they could turn off. It's true that you could turn off the comments now. You could now you're turning off dislikes. How are we supposed to tell these companies we can't stand the product they're giving us?
Easy. I already asked them. I quote tweeted their post, and what you say is, "I want a meh button. I just want a meh button. Just meh."
Yeah, well, worse than that, I think, is this reeks of corporatism, right? In my opinion, because again, like Scott was saying, you have to 100% agree that this is driven by the corporations. It's driven by the mainstream because they don't like hearing that their crap sucks, and they don't want other people to realize that there are huge scads, loads, whatever words you want to use, of people that think this is garbage. So now you're going to pollute the comments, which will dilute the value of comments eventually in the algorithm, because again, you're going to see people say this is garbage, this is trash, this dislike. That's how they got around it before, when it was disabled on some of the stuff that people were showing up to say this is complete crap. Anything that was Disney, especially including the Disney Star Wars stuff around the high repugnance, you're still going to get people showing their dislike. They're just going to do it in the comments. It's not going to help anything. And then it also robs everybody of the transparency, and that's the whole problem with YouTube. They are now going out of their way to censor, to disable any form of transparency when it comes to this stuff. And I really want to hear what a bigger channel here says about this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Elaine, do you get, I know you have had issues in the past with people, her voice and this and that, which we all completely disagree with, but do you get a lot of dislikes, and do you see that it affects your video if you do get a larger amount than usual?
Well, usually when I do more like opinion focused videos, which are rare, considering the bulk of my content. So yeah, I might get a little bit more, but overall, yeah, I have pretty good ratio. Not to brag,
right?
But their reasoning and how it would help like small creators. Well, it's still engagement. So even though you get those dislikes, it's still, they're interacting with your channel, and that's still helpful.
Right.
And for me, mostly, I would prefer a dislike as opposed to like a comment about my voice or something.
Right. Something
just to, yeah, but it's I don't mind it. And I think you need a little bit of a thick skin on YouTube anyways. And at the end of the day, you still are grateful for the engagement. And so that's what I would tell myself anyway. So that's, it's still good. It's still good for the channel. And so I don't get I don't think that's the reasoning anyways. Like other people have, I think it's for these bigger fish.
Yeah.
To not want that displayed, to not get that ratioed, to not have that, because it's like a PR move. For most people, that's what it seems like. Not for the small fish, I don't think.
Yeah, it's essentially going to make whatever the pinned comment is the number one comment of dislikes. So that's basically what it's going to turn into. Whatever channel it is, their top pinned comment will be where everyone's going to go for their dislikes, because it's the first thing. People don't want to have to scroll down, and so if you're unlucky enough to have
really good one.
A pinned comment in there, then you're the one that's going to be copping the crap instead of the actual channel itself. It does nothing. The Instagram tried to hide the likes and that sort of stuff. Now all it's going to allow the companies to do, like those small little companies like CNN and Disney, to say, look, we had 4,000 likes and we didn't have any dislikes, and they don't have to prove anything.
Nothing.
The same thing I want to add with that, Greg, is you're right. It's what's going to happen is the first comment on that video is going to say dislike, and then you're going to see 80,000, 300,000, depending on the channel, all saying the same thing. You're just going to cause a chat comment spam. I'm sorry, Nick. Sorry, Google. I used the wrong one. But it's that voice is creepy right now. But it's going to come out.
I see what people mean.
It's going to affect the comment system in a way where they're going to get rid of the comments, or they're going to limit the comment section to like 10 words. I have laryngitis. I'm sorry. I'm still Nick. Hi, Nick. How are you? Nick.
I'll come rub your back later. No, you have a valid point. I would like to hear it. Storyman Jack, what do you have to say?
Well, as one of the smaller creators here.
Well, not as small as Mads, but smaller. Okay.
Well, and as somebody who's written some pretty stinky stories,
they were pretty good.
I need that dislike. I need to know when I'm not doing well, so I can look and see what I did wrong. I need those cues. I need the comments to say, hey, I didn't like this, and this is why I didn't like this, because I'm not going to grow as a writer, as a storyteller, if I'm missing things. And that's the only way you're going to get that, is especially anonymous people you don't know telling you. Right. This is why we have that, that first day of American Idol tryouts, is because people told those people they were good.
And someone needs to tell them they're not.
Right.
I mean,
and we need that in society.
Yeah.
We need to know, hey, look, man, your talents don't lie this way. You need to go somewhere else.
So do we think, like, Matt, do you think that they're actually doing this to protect people and that's going to be their excuse? Or is it something else? Like, is it the excuse we don't want to hurt people's feelings with dislikes?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's simple. Like they're going to, say like, well, it discourages people from trying to make a YouTube, blah, 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 when everyone knows what it is. It's the Streisand effect because everyone's now going to comment and the comments are going to be way worse than the downvotes ever possibly could be.
Yeah.
You bring back the 5 stars again. That'll fix it.
Sure.
Well, except that then, I mean, you're going to end up with a bunch of 1-star videos. I mean, let's just be fair here, right? They are completely leaning into the idea that their future lies in the mainstream, and so they don't want the mainstream properties to be all upset that and go elsewhere. Not that there's anywhere elsewhere that's sufficient to go, but look, this is going to eventually drive creators away from the platform, right?
Which is what they want.
Well, except that's going to destroy the platform. See, this is the thing. It's the same problem that you have with the audiences around Star Wars. So we don't want the audience we have. We want this audience. We're going to create a safe space for the audience that we want. Bologna sausage. What you're going to end up doing is creating a circumstance or situation where
you have no audience.
Yeah, you have none, because the people that you're trying to cultivate or bring in, they don't spend money on this stuff. You're doing it the wrong way, and believe me, there's a history of doing it the wrong way since YouTube sold out to Google, all those years ago. So it's incredibly frustrating, especially again. I'm not being completely being beaten down by the algorithm right now, like some other smaller channels are. But I guarantee you that engagement, whether it's a happy thumbs up or a negative thumbs down or whatever, right? And you should be allowed to see just how much displeasure there is with a particular video. It should influence your decision making process on whether or not it's worth your time, and that's part of the thing. Go ahead.
There's another thing
like
to
Star
add.
Wars.
That's true, but there's also another thing to add to this. Another great addition with the whole dislike system. Hi there, how you doing? The best dislike with the dislike system. Let's not even look at pop culture right now, how our community runs, how the fellowship runs, however you want to call it runs. Fandom menace, commentators. Let's take ourselves out of that box. The dislike system in general was also a way to warn people coming to YouTube if streams or videos were scams, if they were fake, if there were things that were way to get not only your account compromised, your ID compromised, your money compromised, and everything compromised. That dislike system had more of an effect than just hurt feeling for advertisers and big corps who can't take criticism, because it saved a lot of people BS and falling for scams and other types of mishaps. And you can do your research on this. Like,
yeah,
Pokemon
no, you're
cards,
absolutely right.
All that crap. So they're giving an open market to scammers to go wherever the hell they want. Next thing you know, you see 800,000 channels about duck cleaning while they steal your grandma's teeth. It's going to happen. Because no one knows. And what Jack says is the same thing. Without criticism, how are we supposed to grow and better our talent, our trade, our art, our form, our minds, and our opinions?
You know what though? It's the critic. They only agree with certain type of criticism. It's if you follow the correct narrative, that criticism's okay. But it's when you go against it. And something Jack said. Otherwise, Cavatino, Calvaroman, Shea says, otherwise William Hung would not have gotten famous. True. He's joking, but it's the God honest truth. The way that young man dealt with rejection made him. It wasn't that he got rejected. It's the way he reacted to rejection. He took it on the chin. He took it like a man. He was like, look, he took it like a man. He said, you know what? I tried, I did my best, and that's all I can do. And you know what? The guy is a millionaire now because of it. Go ahead.
And I was, did you read this one? Because I
was about to, so go ahead and read it.
Nick Cookies for $5 says there's no dislike button on Twitter, but we can still see a tweet is ratioed. Do you think we'll be able to do the same thing with YT? High culture.
Hi, Nick. Big comments.
That's a really good question.
Yeah,
I think you will. I mean, I'm going to answer this now because I thought it was a brilliant idea. And yes, you're going to see a billion dislikes, right? Or you could actually put in the comments, right? You could actually have the first person below the pinned one,
right,
actually say dislike this to oblivion.
Yeah, like
right?
This comment.
Comments, yeah, dislike this comment to show YouTube that this isn't going to work. Also you're going to see, and again, I said it during my rant before, you're going to have just an amazing amount of garbage in a comment section, which is not helpful. Right? It's going to be like, I have a whole paragraph that I type out every time there's a bad Star Wars thing, that I put in every comment for every bad Star Wars video. I'm going to continue to do that. You are going to get the same stuff. You're just not going to get the negative thumb down count. That's not going to fool a savvy advertiser, and it's not going to fool a savvy consumer, and everybody's going to catch on to this game, and it didn't help. So it's not again, this is a great comment. I'm not sure if it was highlighted. Corporatist manufactured consent, and that's absolutely what they're looking for. I'm sorry, I'm at the point now where the mask's been lifted off of everything now.
Yes.
Right? And I mean and I know we don't get too deeply into politics here, but I'm going to say this
a little more than we should.
This is one of those times when it's reckon it's obvious, it's reckon, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway,
no. I want you to say it. I'm sorry, because I apologize. I said that wrong. I want us to be. We have to be more vocal, and I don't care if you lean left or right. I want people to speak because we need discord in this world. And I know Nerd Cookies is on, and Fat Steven. So I don't want to get too heavy into politics or things like that. But society, we got to talk about that.
Well, sorry.
No, yeah.
I was just going to say, I think this plays into the whole idea I was talking about with culture earlier about the panopticon, which you see like in 1984, where like you never know if you're being watched or you're not being watched, or your behavior, you change your behavior just in case you are being watched. And you see the same thing now, but rather than it being from a centralized authority, it's actually coming from the outside in. To where now all of us on the outside that we're supposed to be watched, there's this minority of people who yield so much power that everyone is watching everyone. The only way that you're able to tell a joke that you could have been able to tell 20 years ago, but now it's a no is if you're in the dark with one other person by candlelight and you have a soundproof room. That's the only place you're really safe to say what you truly believe. I think this plays into it as well. I think it is just the that minority group is flexing his power.
What do you think that's going to hurt him in the long run? I think.
Yeah, in the long run, yes. But this is another thing, and then I want to hear what Fat Steven has to say. Okay. Soul Assassin puts a perfect here. Like, they get rid of the dislike button, but you have these sex bot trolls and these horribly racist trolls that come on accounts that their names are something
their sites are good.
Well, whatever. But some of them are so racist, even in their title, that how does that get through YouTube with their
because they don't really care.
Because it's a name. But it's also a name. It's an account name. It's done through Google's site itself. You actually have to put those words and those names within your chat. I know. Within your chat banned words. I do that with a lot of political words that will get you hit by the algorithm, and you can't type it. But at the same time, what you're saying, it's going to affect YouTube in a way. Yeah. We had the ad-apocalypse years back, right? This is going to cause a creativity apocalypse in the same way. Well, if everyone's doing the same type of thing and they're never seeing how they're doing bad or doing good, and you have the ability, like Red Gaze just said, turning off the comments and there's no feedback at all, they're creating their own echo chamber in creators. They want blind mice running around just putting videos out.
They still have the view count, though. That's going to let you know if people are watching your content or not.
Is there so what, you going to give us a negative view count to tell if people don't like it, or they like this?
Or a negative view count, meaning you're losing viewers based on what you're doing. Yeah.
Oh, but here's the problem with that, right? YouTube counts a view in seconds.
No,
right?
5 minutes.
Yes. Really? They're up to 5 minutes again?
It's up to. It's the same thing with it being a subscriber. It's the same type of thing with the algorithm. I count the same thing. It has to be at least 30 seconds to 5 minutes is what I'm gathering, because you can test in your own videos. Use a incognito, go to a video and see how long it takes.
Yeah, I thought it was 30 seconds.
It's 30 seconds. Yeah, I thought that's what the minimum
it's
was.
5 minutes for subscribers. My bad.
Okay, well then there you go. Yeah,
really?
Okay, so yeah, I know. Like I said, I know there's a difference, but that's fine. So everybody watch. If you're subscribed to somebody, watch 5 minutes of their stuff. But that 30 seconds, look, that's going to count as a view. Whether it's good or bad, they're not going to know, and neither is the actual advertiser. The transparency is completely out the window. So again, you still hit the dislike button because it's still going to show exactly how you feel about it. But at the same time, you're going to see, and I'm going to do it myself. People in the comment section giving their true opinion of what they feel about what is being.
I'm gonna do that myself.
Yeah,
We're forgetting one important thing though, and I wonder if you guys have ever heard of Raid Shadow Legend.
That was perfect, man.
Why is he on here?
I love him. That's why he's on here, for shit like that. That was great. But all right, so I'm sorry, that got me off. That was so good. Raid Shadow Legend. You can get a level 45 warrior.
Just use my code. You get silver. You get gold. You get ripped off.
Right. Sporking pegging. Oh, I mean, what? That's not it.
Okay, that's not Raid Shadow Legend.
That's not. I'm sorry. That was my code. That was my code.
Yeah. A few extra prongs than what you want.
Yeah.
Scott, I mean, we're in this position now where the bots should be easily solvable.
Yes,
right?
That's what I'm trying to say.
But that's not the only issue. There's a lot of things that can be solved. There are so many scams, right? Yep. That are actually advertisements on YouTube. YouTube sends you scams to look at. The remove all the stuff from your pores scam, like the soap or whatever from China.
Yeah, you mean science?
Work. It doesn't work. We've had lots of videos on YouTube debunking it, right? And yet that stuff is still allowed to be out there.
Wait. You mean the dangerous sea salt stuff doesn't work?
Guys, you weren't supposed to tell Jack.
You're supposed to use Gorilla Glue and peel all of the blackheads and skin.
She was really pretty in the mall, okay?
Yeah.
She said it worked.
Let's go to the mall today.
The solution to all of this would be for it to be an option. If you don't want to see your dislikes, you can turn off that feedback. If you want it, leave it on. That's easy.
But the option's there, dude, and that's the whole thing, man. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the problem? Why do they have to take away? Why do they have to make that choice for everyone?
Because you don't get the right to choose. You don't get the right to choose anymore.
It's true. M Tax Shark for $5 says, we all know why YouTube did this. See the ratios on any video. With my buddy Brandon, that's it. Period. Stop analysis. There you are.
Thank you, M Tax Shark.
Here's the thing.
Well done.
Let's go Shadow Legend.
If these people, if their argument's totally insane.
Start.
I'll stop doing it. I'm sorry.
Their argument is totally insane, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Their argument is that if people see too many dislikes on their stuff, they'll stop doing it. Well, if they're that fragile, they don't need to be doing it in the first episode.
Have you seen Marvel and DC Comics when they put something out and everyone just calls them names? Raid Shadow Legends.
That's
the
it.
fragility's already there. They've been raised in an environment where no matter what they do, they're the bestest ever at. Oh, you just set the neighborhood kid on fire? Well, here's a trophy, Scotty. We're going. You want to be a YouTube creator, John? Well, come on down. No, you're never wrong. You're always right. You're always going to see that rainbow, even if that truck hits you.
I shouldn't have to put in the work.
That translates into writing a book about a freaking rock and saying it's Star Wars.
Well, watch it now, Jack. You're on thin ice.
Wait, YouTube is essentially creating everybody gets a trophy.
Yep.
Thin ice, Jack.
It's everybody gets a trophy YouTube now. So it's the same thing that destroyed 20 years worth of kids, that were told you're a special snowflake.
The hell, Paulie?
Yeah. You know what? Watch the movie Fight Club. Figure out that you are not a special snowflake. You right now are an instrument of consumption utilized by a machine that will eat you up and force you into a position where you live in a constant state of debt and despair. And now they're pushing despair harder than ever. In fact, the 2030 agenda isn't even hidden anymore. The WEF came out with a video yesterday. They gave you a glimpse of your future run by all these oligarch MOFers. So there you go.
They don't want us. They don't want us having a good time. They don't want us smiling. They don't want us laughing. They don't want us to have a thought. Like right here, enter the unfamiliar. One of the nicest guys in YouTube. One of the nicest guys in YouTube has to be Final Death Star. He is one of the nicest people, and he gets attacked by bots because why? He's attached to people like me and people like Nerdrotic, and he follows other people that they don't like. I had. What was it? I think we finally counted 75 new members that were bots. They just kept spamming because they realized if they became a new member, we couldn't slow down the amount, even with slow mode, how many times they actually enter. Yeah.
Subscriber mode for 5 minutes. The day you got hit, I also got a hit on my stream. I was playing a game and it got really good up. Then I switched to subscriber mode. A lot of channels are putting subscriber mode to prevent that, because then it shows a whole bunch of people are trying to sub at the same time, and YouTube will get a red flag that something's going on. You also got to report this to YouTube in your studio as soon as this happens, so they don't think it's something else.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. I mean, these people. Wait a minute, but these people became members.
Like paying members?
They paid money.
They paid. I have like 45 or 50 different accounts at $1.99 each.
Hey, did they ever try to refund?
I don't know. I'm still waiting to see how that works out.
By the way, I just have a question. Like, even though that they don't show the downvotes, are you still able to see the downvotes yourself on your
personally? You can see it
in your own
okay.
studio, yeah.
So you're still going to get that feedback.
That's not the point. It's not about us getting feedback. It's about them hiding. No, it's them hiding the people's reactions to videos. They don't want, the bigger corporate companies don't want the bad press of dislikes, because one of the first things we say is look at the difference in ratio from likes to dislikes. You know, that was one of the first things you say on any of the shitty trailers we see. And they don't want it anymore. So that's one of the reasons they're doing it.
It's a great way to gauge the room.
To me, it seems like a heck of a lot of energy and effort put out there when they could just simply make something good.
Yeah. Wow.
That requires effort.
Yeah, Jack, come on.
They're expending how much effort in doing this garbage? Buying off Rotten Tomatoes, buying off YouTube, doing all this shit when Disney or whoever can just make something good.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all they have to do.
But no, because that would change so much. Because for them to do that, they would have to reevaluate their hiring processes and look at the more like merit than checkboxes. Like, come on, guys, this is a lot easier. Just trying to control everything so that no, negative feedback is through.
What happens when YouTube sponsors a major sporting event? Are people not allowed to boo?
No, they're not. Yeah, you can't boo. Come on, only you can do this.
What the hell?
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. That's it.
Elaine, you're again as the largest channel on the planet. It's your turn to give your thoughts here, because I mean, honestly, do you beyond the things you already talked about, is this not patently obvious to what it is?
Yeah, I think it's. I honestly don't think, because I don't think it's for like the little people's like best interest, honestly, because they don't care. they don't care about the little YouTube channel trying to make it. It really has a corporate feel to it, that because it really doesn't make for the content creator. Yeah, we want the feedback. We want, and when you're on YouTube, you'll just get that thick skin, and it's not like it's going to drive content creators away, because I think that YouTube's doing pretty okay with creators making content and sticking to it. And yeah, it could be a bit of a slog, but it's not to their detriment, because even dislikes will still be engagement. So that reason, I don't buy it at all. It just has that corporate spin, for those that are. Because any number of videos, it has like anything that has a corporate tie, upcoming projects, for Star Wars and films, but anything really, we're talking about political stuff as well. Mm-hmm. Anything to where they don't want the public to really see what other people are kind of like feeling about it. Yeah. So, because they don't want, I guess, a mob mentality or whatever, but really it's just goes to show where it's going, how people are thinking about it.
Well,
so that's what it seems like it is.
The other thing is
last point. We're giving it to you, buddy. No, last point for Jack. Let's hear it, and then we'll move on.
The
and
other
this is
thing
true story.
Is that every dislike I get, I earned that dislike.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want to jump on my channel.
So real quick,
it's a badge
I think this
of
may
honor.
be a positive. I think this may be a positive for you smaller YouTubers.
Matt doesn't listen, so go back to him.
Yeah, I know. That's why, because I'm going to end it on this. I think that it could end up being a positive, right? Because what happened with The Last Jedi? Everybody was saying how great it was. You have people like, no, that doesn't feel right. And they go out looking for people to, you know, for a different opinion. So I think if you don't see the downvote, people are going to be like, well, this doesn't seem right to me either. So they would start looking for a different opinion. And I think that actually could help out a lot of smaller channels.
But actually during the
Let's play Raid Shadow Legends.
during The Last Jedi, you found channels that got a lot of dislikes because they were talking against it. And that's when I was like, okay, I agree with these guys. So it's a double-edged sword, which way? But I want to read this one. Nick Cookies for $5. True story. Elaine squealed with glee when Scott shouted out her channel on John Talks, and she only had 200 subscribers. She loves Scott forever now.
Yeah.
I know I'm the one who found you first. All these people say they did, but I was like, I found you one day. I'm like, I have to be honest. It was one of your first videos. I was like, she's amazing. She's amazing. That's why. And I knew I saw you in chats.
I found her early on too, Scott, back under my other monikers because I didn't have a channel and I had to create this moniker. Yeah,
True story. True story.
But I went on John Talks and talked about Lola.
Yeah, after me. After me.
You know what?
Holy crap! You guys want room so you just whip it out?
I squealed every time. Though.
We have other things to talk about. Everybody dial it back. We all love Elaine.
Ma, get the ruler.
Just think about what she makes videos about, though. It's like everything we love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's all about lore.
She does Kingdom Hearts too. Yeah. She does gaming too. She has Nerd Cookies Arcade. I sit and listen to that sometime when she's yelling at Pooh Bear.
But here's the thing: everybody loves Kingdom Hearts, right? Everybody loves.
It is a dope game.
Kingdom Hearts was that game that combined the things that we loved at the time. Unfortunately, right now, not a lot to love about Disney. And if Square Enix decides to go woke, there won't be a lot to love about then. So I don't think these people realize. I am not interested in the ESG or the social credit score or any of that other stuff that they're trying to start in our culture. That shit ain't going to happen. You're going to have the majority of Americans, the people who you actually spend money on entertainment and things like that, dip completely away from that. So you know what? Yeah, you're going to get a handful of people that'll. What the hell was that?
My ringtone going up. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
professional. I like it.
And thanks. I appreciate the support of the quality YouTube stream here. Anyway, look, I lost my train of thought. I was having a lot of fun, and then I got destroyed.
Well, shout out to Enter the Unfamiliar. Please, guys, subscribe to Final Death Star. He hasn't been around like us lately because he's doing a lot of stuff in his personal life.
I met him before I had my channel on a stream with Ryan.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Culture.
He's amazing.
Squaresoft, Square Enix going woke, and we don't know what's going to happen next. And if that happens, because Kingdom Hearts already does not have Final Fantasies where you were coming from and you were going down.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry, that messes it up. Get you right back on track. I'm so sorry.
No, you helped out. No, it was fine. It wasn't you messing it up. It's just that's the problem. Is I'm like, and then I get it. It's just me. Anyway, we have another story or 10 to cover, and we don't have a lot of time. We're 42 minutes into the stream.
Yeah.
Scott, where do you want to go next, buddy?
Let's go with the alleged photos, and then we'll go on to Patty Jenkins.
All right. Well, here we go. Party on, kids. You want me to read this? You want to read this?
Yeah, no, I love you reading. Actually, after this one, let's do Bob Chapek rumor because that's a fun one.
Let's get some chapstick in here. All right. Alleged leaks images appear to confirm the huge Spider-Man. Well, apparently so, at least from John Campy. Anyway, no way home rumors. So here we go. God, what a douche knuckle. Anyway, we're going around and running.
Yeah.
A pair of alleged leaks appear to confirm two biggest rumors surrounding Sony and Marvel's upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home. Well, no kidding. Hey, look at that. YouTuber and Scooper, like as in Pooper Scooper, John Campia shared the two photos with his Twitter account. The first photo shows both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man outfits, standing next to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. The second photo shows Charlie Cox's Daredevil sitting at a kitchen table with Holland's Peter Parker, Jon Favreau's Happy Hogan, and Marissa Tomei's Aunt May. Spoken.
Hot May.
Yeah, hot day. Campia has since deleted the tweet, of course, but you can see them below with his show's watermark emblazoned upon them. That you know what? That's the only problem, John. It's upon, not on. Upon them. Upon them is the proper English there. Anyway, I do that on fun because I know John's going to watch this and be mad at me.
Oh, that's
anyway,
hilarious.
All right, so there they are.
His name is on there.
Yeah. Except they're like, look at Toby's junk, though.
Yeah, Toby.
That's what Campia said.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. In a video clip today that's been making the rounds from his freaking stream, he's talking about Toby's stuff.
That's lighting based off the material of his suit.
And he has a big dong.
But I want to throw one more image, though, that Mikey Sutton posted. I follow him, and it's showing.
Whip it out.
It's right. Right, but this is what Mikey posted on his Facebook yesterday, and I want to throw that in there. Like, we're getting all these different Spider-Man in.
I love that top right one.
Look at his junk.
He has great junk, but that top right one I believe has like runes in it for mystical stuff. I think that's going to be a pretty cool one.
And you have Metal Spider there too. But anyway,
you know what sucks is this. I am so excited for a movie I know I probably will not like. Like, I love Spider-Man so much. It was Spider-Man and Daredevil are my two favorite comic book superheroes since I was a little kid. And like I pray every time the movie's going to be at least meh. You know, like the last couple movies have been meh. No, but I'm just. When are we going to get a great one again?
3 in a row, dude. And if this thing, you know what, we're going to keep going because I'm not going to bury the. I'm going to bury the headline. F it. Here we go. Back to the story, kids. The tweet with Cox's Daredevil is very reminiscent of a description of the scene from the film that Tom Holland provided to Esquire, which is a piece of shit. Holland said it's 4 people sitting at a table having a conversation about what it's like to be a superhero, and it was amazing. Esquire confirms the scene included Happy Hogan, Holland's Peter Parker, Marissa Tomei's Aunt May, and the 4th character was a mystery character, no longer.
Real quick before you go on, Soul Assassin says here, do y'all think the leak was Campia's getting back at Disney?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And what's weird is that they're digging so far down, they're now using Netflix Marvel property characters in their own stuff now. Yeah, they're popular because even though they just like let Netflix keep the property going.
Well, actually, different characters. They initially said that they had nothing to do. They had nothing to do with. They weren't in continuity. They weren't this. So it's going to be a completely watered down, different version of any of the characters that we're going to get.
They did say that at first. They did say
watered
that
down a blind guy.
Make him
very easily.
Give him half his eyesight back.
Turn him into a speedster.
All right. Well, in a set of 4 follow-up tweets, he also deleted. Campia claims the 2 photos are photoshopped. First, he wrote, "Holy shit! Only so I've shared Spider-Man photos before with like 12K tweets like this one.
Look at me, 12K tweets. I'm John Campia.
I get sent these and think they're also great photoshops because the one image has the classic mistake of having inconsistent placement of a light source. See, that's what he's trying to say about his thing. He's calling out his Johnson business, his stuff, the lead stuff. Right. In his second tweet, he then claimed someone contacted him claiming they might be real, so he deleted them. No kidding, douche knuckle. Anyway, he writes, in the image, the light source is on the left side of Tom's and Andrew's face, but on the wrong side of Toby's, obviously a Photoshop. 5 minutes later, someone contacts me saying they might be real, so just to be safe, I deleted them.
So why would you post
go eat dinner, watch some of the football game, then turn off my computer and find out how the damn things went viral, and I'm trending on Twitter. So yeah, I thought and still think they're fake, just like this one. But who knows? You decide.
But why watermark them if he thinks they're fake? That's so stupid. He's still going for clout even on fake. If he thinks they're fake, if he thinks he's real, you won't watermark something you think is fake.
Absolutely.
Let's burn myself.
Too.
Jesus, don't
say that again, nerd cookies.
Yeah, we didn't hear you, Elaine.
I thought that was suspicious too. Like when he said someone sent those to him. Well, why are you putting your watermark on them as if you're claiming that it's yours? Kind of.
Right. He would not watermark them if they weren't his, because he's been busted. This dude's been busted before.
Go ahead, Jack.
Acting surprised that they went viral. Like everything involved in this film has gone viral. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe they sent him promotional material and he released it before he should have?
Could be. Could be, yeah. Fat Steven.
And now he's just backpedaling.
I have two of the leaked trailers that came out a couple months ago that people got claimed for. They never claimed me, so I'm actually looking through the scene, and the way that the one screen is with them and the light literally matches one of the scenes in the costume. Same haircut, same everything. So I believe those are real.
Well, and I will say this, and this is just my opinion, and then we can move on with the article. But not only do I believe they're real, and for many different reasons, based on what I've heard, but also, and this is where it gets weird, I think he did it on purpose because he was told to.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's, you know what, if Campia didn't do it as a revenge thing, which I do doubt, he did it because he was told to. I agree with you 100% because he is the shill of shills.
Yeah, he is. And we will know even more if he doesn't get invited to if he gets invited to a Sony thing in the future, then guess what?
Yeah, he did it. He did it by command. Purpose. Now, can we see these pictures?
Yeah, we'll get to them.
Okay.
I do think that it's a little suspicious too, because I think that there were several, like the trailer was leaked like before, like they've had issues with leaks before, but it has worked out in its favor as far as like marketing goes, because it has been trending a lot. People have been talking about it a lot, and talking about it is good promotion. So it could have been intentional, and it doesn't seem like. And even if they were real, it's like, well, why would you? Which he says they were fake, but why would you post them if they were fake? I don't get the point.
Right? Because can we see the times? Is there times on them? Like, it almost feels like he posted the first one and then number 2, because you already put a number 1. I posted these. But part 1, why would you put a part 1 if you knew you were going to not... Like, all right, so what time was this at? 7:01. Now, when does he respond back? So if we scroll down, back to the part 1 and part 2. Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah.
When is that?
25 minutes ago. I forget. It doesn't tell you. All right.
Yeah. And that's a problem. But let's be clear, right? He added, and I've suddenly gained over 1,000 new Twitter followers. Okay, last thing I'll say here. If I, 1, thought the images were real, and 2, wanted to share them, I would have done a headline video on my channel to get views, not on Twitter, just to delete 5 minutes later.
If he was going to do it on YouTube, he would get a copyright claim, because I know someone personally who uploaded those trailers, and 24/7 Fusion Media, we've all heard his name or talked to him once in a while. He got claimed. He got hit. He got actual strike for that, for uploading those trailers.
Oh, wow.
So there's that's a stupid. I think that's a stupid retort. He put it on Twitter with his own watermark to be safe, whether it's fake or real, and he still gets the clout. If he did it on YouTube, it gives him a strike and probably something he can't fight or have on his channel. So that's BS.
Or they wanted him to do it, and if he put it on YouTube and they just let it go, people would know they're real then. You know what I mean? So the smart thing was a quick one on Instagram or Twitter. Take it off like it's, because they have like Andrew Garfield. They have them all doing weird interviews, weird things. And Campia's just one of those shills that would do whatever they ask.
Yeah, he is.
It's definitely not surprising. We've heard these rumors swirling around for a long time.
Absolutely.
Would Sporking get in trouble if I showed just a frozen screen and not played any video?
No, he'd be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Here, then here. This I've had for a while.
That falls. Yeah, that falls inside of fair use, by the way. So here we are. Still image.
Oops.
Now does that look like the kind of like the same type of scene that Campia shared?
It does, doesn't it?
And this is from the leaks of trailers that I had to go through Reddit to get, and there was 2, right? One didn't have the CGI all done, which we have all seen with Doctor Strange and the whole, not Doctor Strange, we're guessing. But this looks like the same haircut of Toby. This looks like the same thing. Yep, and there's someone else right there in the back. So it has the same lighting effect, especially if it's being reflected off an elevator or they're inside a broken building. So I call horseshit, Campia.
I'm with you on that.
In all due respect, I call horseshit.
Yep.
Well, and Doc Ock is in it. It's not like they're like.
And Jamie
obviously
Foxx
they knew. I mean, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, and the Willem Dafoe's like cackle we heard, so we know these things are there. And as far as like the scooping goes, he's building a poor reputation as far as, because we already know these rumors. We know this is a possibility. Can you just leave us with wonder for a little bit?
Right.
But no, it's got to be for like clout, or it's got to be for. I don't know if there is a promotional aspect to it, But it's also, I don't know. Just
think
I
about
like
this,
it.
Elaine. Right after the Eternals didn't have the warmest with critics response. A couple days later, he puts out, because they need Spider-Man to be a hit. I know it's a Sony product, but it's also Marvel. So they need a win right now, like a big win. Okay? Like, I'm sorry, Shang-Chi and the Eternals were not the massive hits everyone wants to believe they are.
Yeah,
and this lighting,
it's exactly the same as in the building. It looks like they're on top of whatever the building that was. The other thing, it's just.
I don't understand the lighting thing. The lighting thing is fine. Toby's face is turned a little bit more than theirs. That's why it's on that side of his face.
But look at this way. We got reflective surfaces of the water. We got chromium
lights everywhere.
surfaces. There's literally reflective surfaces and lights everywhere, depending on how this is done. That shouldn't matter. But can we change it from Spider-Man no bulge home? Can we just change it to no bulge home?
Well, I see 2 out of 3 bulges.
Yeah, we can definitely see. Yeah, the only one that's not sporting a package right there is Holland.
That's because
he's got the biggest ass out of all.
He just came out of the cold water. Leave the kid alone.
It's a matte finish on his.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what it is,
Toby's was always a little shinier.
Yeah, they're using the original, right? They're still using the original costumes from the other film series, right? So I guess they were all different textures as materials. They probably just remade them, but kept them similar.
Toby's looks the best. I will say
His
that.
what, his bulge or the costume?
I always liked his Spider-Man costume the best. I don't know, like the spider on Tom Holland's. I don't really like. I like the spider on.
Which of his 45 different outfits?
Yeah, Tom looks like he's sucking it in too.
Yeah, look at him. He's all like pushing out the jackness. I liked
Gotta make sure
Andrew
he looks
Garfield.
good.
Right. I liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I didn't like his Peter Parker. I liked his Spider-Man.
Let's get to the
Toby had the best Peter Parker out of all of them. I know I like Garfield's quippiness as Spider-Man much better than I did.
Why would you watermark?
Yeah, but would you say Toby had the full package?
Well, right now
at the moment he does.
Okay.
He's sporting the Campia package. Why would you watermark right above a man's junk? This is what I'm still trying to figure out.
Because Campia couldn't look away.
No, he couldn't.
He talked about it in a stream.
Here's
the other image.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can I say I want that to be real? I want that to be real.
That doesn't look Photoshop, though.
No, I mean, even everything's lined up perfectly. You know,
who was the actor's name? I can't remember.
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox.
Yeah, I liked him.
He was great.
He's a nice dude. He's very nice.
It's an odd appearance, but I don't know. But I liked him.
Yeah,
Does Happy have a mustache?
Shot using a honeycomb filter right there, probably because it's being shot through a screen door or a screened window, would be my guess.
Was Ben Affleck not available?
You can see a wooden panel on the side, so I just yeah.
And at the same time, if they are putting like bits and pieces of storylines from other comics, there is from the Spider-Man animated series back from the 90s. If we're looking at it, Matt Murdock did represent Peter Parker after he was outed and accused of murder.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-part actual cartoon series.
Yes.
So within that, that's where I'm thinking the Matt Murdock falls into place. They're trying to grab those member berries because Holland's still looking for his to grab the attention of those 90 kids that remember those Spider-Man.
Well, I promise you this much, and in fact, I'm going to bring it back up again. I promise you this much. I'm going to meme Scott and Walton into this. Just imagine who I'm going to put where.
Is Walton going to be the stick?
Can you please give Walton Tobey Maguire, or not Toby, but
who's the shortest one there?
Oh, that's yay!
Okay, all right.
Toby, because he has less hair. Toby, because he has less hair. And a big package.
Like a hair package. What the hell?
A boy can dream.
I never thought that I would be able to be in the presence of people where I felt like a giant. And between you and Steven, I'm going to feel like a giant.
You will. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
I'm 5'9".
No, I'm 5'9", dude.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, no. Walton's like 5'5". No matter what he tells you, I swear the dude came up to like here on me. Now,
I'm still taller than me.
You know what? Wow, that's a pretty good spray from that height.
Yeah, dude.
I'm 6'4", Culture. What are you talking about?
No, you guys missed it. The innuendo was incredible there.
I got you.
I'm still 6'4". You can bow down later. It's all good.
I ain't bowing to nothing, chump.
Is it still Halloween?
Raid Shadow Legend.
Walton doesn't have to bow. He's that short.
Shrubbery.
So what do you guys want to talk about? You want to go Bob Chapek?
Oh, okay.
Are we done with this one yet?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, let's keep going.
We covered the majority of it. I want to add to this, though.
Yeah, please do.
So yesterday in a video, I covered a story that Midnight's Edge ran with Midnight's Edge in the morning, and I think another video of their own this morning. This film is not fun.
What film? Spider-Man?
No, I mean, aren't they trying to sell it as the dark Spider-Man?
Tom Holland came out and did an interview, an exclusive with Total Film, and said this film was going to be brutal and not fun.
Yeah,
I can't wait for another 30 scenes with him crying.
What do you mean brutal? Like when you're trying to watch Skinemax and you never get to see a nipple? Like what do you mean by it?
Yeah.
Maybe he means high on drama as opposed to the other.
I'm just hoping
he pretty specifically said, and I'm paraphrasing his quote, that it's going to put people, including him, in positions that the audience is not going to like. And he's not going to be able to remain his optimistic self.
He's going to become a cannibalist.
Can I ask one question?
Well, he's a spider. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you think we would at least get some type of joy if we at least get to see that Spider-Man meme for 2 seconds where they're all pointing at each other? Remember that one Spider-Man meme from the original series? With
all the cartoons looking at
yeah. That's one thing I'm hoping they do pull off in this.
Well, as long as they end that with William Dafoe going, there was a spider fight. We're good with it.
I wouldn't say Tom's the best at like promoting his upcoming projects because he said some comments about Uncharted that had me very like concerned about. He said his performance was not. He was really worried about it because he was just more worried about how he looked. And
yes, and that's Elaine is brilliant here because that's actually from the same interview with Total Film.
Oh, was
what about the other film? Remember, do you guys even remember, or did you even see that film he did with Daisy Ridley that no one seems to remember? That came out like
the one with the clouds above their head.
Oh, you mean the one that
I've been tempted to watch it. I think it's
bad.
Did they have powers?
I just can't bring myself to it.
Did they have powers in that movie?
I think she did.
Yeah, they had the power
to read people's thoughts.
Yeah, there was only men. It's a story about only men, and like they project their thoughts.
Okay.
And she can see them, or she brings that out in them. I don't know. I can't. I'd rather just read the book. It's based on a book. I'll just read that.
As you can tell, Mad here would appreciate a world without women.
Yes.
100%.
Yep.
This is terrible. All right. Well, we have another article to get to, so I'm going to bring that up right now. Are you guys ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
I'm going to whip it out.
Yeah, I love my producer. He's the
Those
best.
will never get old.
That giant testicle with him.
Yeah.
Bob Chapek rumored to be feuding with Kevin Feige over Marvel's new woke strategy. This is from John F. Trent from the 9th, which was yesterday.
Yes, go check out John F. Trent and Bounding Into Comics, please.
Bounding Into Comics.
Someone was going to say
finally
something.
get a decent portrayal of the Thing. Oh wait, that's Bob.
Sorry.
Never mind.
Okay. Well, from the article, the Walt Disney Company's CEO, Bob Chapek, is rumored to be feuding with Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige over Marvel's new woke strategy. Well, okay.
I see a lot of diversity in that picture.
Yeah, that's a lot of white guys.
Yeah.
It's like,
dude, look at how
there's a lot of Italian suits.
Well, the word black is there.
Why is he wearing denim and a blazer, Kevin? You're not hip no more. Stop it.
Yeah. But look at this guy. That's Braverman, right? That's the other Alan. Because Alan, the other Alan is retiring, so it's bananas. But anyway,
Alan Arkin?
No, hush it. This rumor comes from Scooper and YouTuber Overlord DVD.
Doomcock!
In a video titled Feige Pulling a Last Jedi with MCU. Chapek and Feige feud over MCU future. In the video, Overlord DVD lays out Feige's new strategy for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, stating Kevin is selling all of his new MCU garbage by claiming it will be more economical to use newer and less popular characters like Riri Williams or Kamala Khan than OG characters like Tony Stark or Steve Rogers. He continues, Kevin Feige apparently thinks, hey, I'm Kevin Feige. I can put any crap up there on the screen and it will work great because I am so great. It will be amazing. I know what I'm doing. All conceits that are belied by the box office failure of Shang-Chi and the huge looming disaster of The Eternals, a film that stinks so badly, even the woke-friendly, virtue-signaling, ass-kissing mainstream critics are slanting it on Rotten Tomatoes. Why? Well, that's a weird.
Yeah, it is. But can I? Well, that was Doomcock speaking it. But let me ask you a question.
I didn't use Doomcock voice.
Yeah. Was anybody else? I was actually surprised with those certified critics bombing it. Usually they'll pull the punches, but they bombed this movie. Granted, the audience was 86% for many hours, but
artificially suspended at that level.
Yeah. But I was pretty shocked. Was anybody else shocked by that?
No.
I think the oversaturation and the agenda checklist film format is dead. People want to go to a film, especially if it's 2.5 hours long, and actually be entertained, even if it's only 10% of it. If we're not even getting that, why there?
It isn't that. It's that it's so bad they couldn't lie. How bad that movie is.
They would have lost all credibility, which they've already lost with most of the people. We know right now that the majority of professional critics are shills, and they're essentially being paid off in various ways between access and gift swag bags and all the other things. Look, if you want to be a critic, but do it at least responsibly and don't actually get paid off for your reviews. That's garbage, and you should be ashamed of yourself. That's ethics, kids. But anyway,
who should?
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe it's because they saw Dune, so not that long before, and they're like, "Oh, this is an actual story. This is what it's supposed to look like."
Valid
what
point.
a good story is supposed to be. They got a reminder.
But Elaine, this is in your wheelhouse. So, sorry, Mr. Gregory. Elaine, this is in your wheelhouse. Dune, despite the stuff that I hate about it because they switched some things, Dune was essentially the same story that we got in the books. Yay?
It was very faithful, yes. I will say probably the worst criticism I had was that I wish there was more more character development.
Yeah.
And especially with the minor characters. But for others, I thought they did really well for Duncan but the major characters, obviously, they really focused on. But for the most part, yes, I could definitively say it was a faithful adaptation. And you had this huge cast of characters, and I will say you also had this more somber tone. So you could kind of see that there would be a similarity, I guess, between Eternals and Dune, but even from just the trailers, I haven't seen Eternals yet, so I don't know about. I can't speak to that. But just from the trailer footage, it feels like cinematically maybe there's some. Even you're on a desert planet, but I still feel like it was way more entertaining to see Dune and the trailer footage that they had than Eternals. I feel like it was very bland, even with this huge and enormous scale imagery. It just felt bland to me, and they're supposed to convince me to see it, and I feel like they just didn't do a good job of that. I think it was just too many characters just come out of nowhere, basically. And they're supposed to be fresh off of the MCU. Yeah. It just felt like it was very forced for the type of film that it was. But you just can't help but compare it to what we just saw, which was Dune. And even just looking at the trailer footage, it was this grand scale film, but it really pulled you in. You felt like you were being pulled into this other world, this universe. And even though there is that different cinematography as far as colors, and it's definitely not Thor Ragnarok as far as the vibrancy and the more somber tone.
It's not Kirby.
Way different. Yeah, you can reel us in even if it's not brightly lit and all that. And they just didn't really Dune is more beloved. I will say. I think it has a more. I don't know anything about the Eternals.
Well, good.
I don't know, so I can't speak to that as well.
Neither did the people that made the film.
The problem even
Dune
with
is
this,
really niche, and still I feel like people had more
isn't the Eternals
excitement about it.
Knockoff X-Men that he did himself?
It's not even just that. This is the Kirby made this, and the problem is with Eternals that we just got through Endgame. A lot of people are still dealing with the whole Tony Stark snapping himself out of it to death, and they're still in mourning, and we're getting other of these little bits and piece movies, some that are way too late from when they were supposed to be put into this universe, and then they're throwing down 7, 8, or 9 different people in there. A couple of them have been gender swapped or sexuality swapped, whatever you want to call it, but they gave no prelude, nothing and the marketing strategy to make these well known. And it was also a knee jerk, as we talked before in the culture review, that this was done because of the announcement of New Gods. But Disney and Marvel both have content on Disney Plus, and they didn't even think about doing like a what if style, not as what if, but doing a prequel series, even if it's just animated, showing who these characters are, why they couldn't interfere with the end game stuff going on, and see whether or not the audience would be grasped to actually see a 2.5-hour film about people they don't know nothing about. Well, you can't just pull in normies with bangs and flashes and go, hey, we got more heroes. Angelina Jolie, her tits are still up. Come on now before they fall. And Selma Hayek and all these other people. No one can grasp something if they don't know anything about it. It's very hard to keep.
Well, that's true.
I'll repeat what my son said last week. He said,
boring.
You know, they think they're getting A-list actors, but nobody cares about these people anymore. When was the last time Angelina Jolie did anything other than sue Brad Pitt?
Right.
I mean,
and Game of Thrones is over with too. You know, like Madsen is a good actor, and Kit Harington is a good actor. But this is my problem with it. It's the Eternals should have been slowly brought into the last phase. We should have saw them like we saw Thanos, like watching him. Watching Thanos and being like, we will not, not reacting to what he's doing, because truthfully, they're supposed to mess with anybody that's, has the gene.
The life mass on a planet because they're trying.
Well, it's not even that, but he has the. I want to say. I keep saying divergence. What is the goddamn bad guys in Eternal?
The deviants.
Deviants. He has the deviant gene, so I was like divergence. He has the deviant. I'm really good at this. Please subscribe.
I would like to question, what is this lemon vodka seltzer and where's mine?
Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. All right, but I just want to say this, Scott.
Yeah.
Look, the divergence, whatever term you want to call them, the deviants, the
deluded.
I don't even care anymore.
Delinquents.
Right. First of all, they destroyed Kirby's work because Kirby is fantastical with colors and everything else. That's why he's King Kirby, right? He's very psychedelic. Thor Ragnarok was as close to a Kirby thing you're going to get from Disney or even anybody else.
It was so bland.
Yes, it was flat. And again, I didn't have to see the film to see it was flat because the clips I saw were flat, and I was like, this thing sucks rock.
Snyder did the best he could.
What was the production budget?
$200 million.
200.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and the CGI still sucked.
Yeah. It reminded me of like Steppenwolf and the Joss Whedon version.
Oh yeah, the Whedon.
Is it that bad? I haven't watched it yet.
Steppenwolf in that first one.
And the secret scene CGI is even worse. Like they couldn't even put effort into the secret scene that
Dude was like 150 million, 160 million production budget, or for the filming budget.
And it was amazing.
Again, they used it for the right reasons. I mean, the sandworms, my goodness, were just
let me
amazing.
Tell you,
breathtaking.
Popped off the screen. By the way, Scott, we need to get to these 2 super chats before they vanish.
Yeah, I think we have 3. Immortal Coil for $5. One of my original streaming friends. Yep. I'm pissed, Scott. This YouTube button got me feeling savage. Join me 9:45 Eastern tonight for this and more, guys. If you are not subscribed, Immortal Coil is one of the. Dude,
old school OG,
smart dude, deep guy. I love him. So please check him out tonight. We also have one from Nick Cookies, and he says, "Ask Elaine how her lemon vodka seltzer is. Is it tasty, Elaine?"
It is.
You got a drink to be on this stream.
No, that
reminds me, I gotta get one.
Just a little bit.
It's a nightcap.
There you go. You're an adult.
I'm gonna cap the night. Here you go.
And Makini Draws for $10, one of our good friends. And please, guys, subscribe to Makini. He's a great artist. Great YouTuber. Just a really good guy. Look at the Eternals in 2 ways. One, maybe I wasn't supposed to relay. Look at the Eternals in 2 ways. ... One, the MCU. Is that Nick? Did I just hear Nick Cookies?
I think we heard Nick Cookies.
I want to touch you,
No,
Nick.
I'm
no. I will now reenact. Nerd Cookies. Yes.
The MCU equivalents of a CW show or two. This is what we would have gotten with Ava DuVernay.
DuVernay.
Yeah, I can't stand her. And Tom King's New Gods film, except what Ava would be much worse. It would have.
Yeah. Tom King's a piece of garbage, by the way. There is a good Tom King out there. And also, this is important.
That Tom King, though, he would just make himself the female. He'd put his face on all the female characters just so we can get pegged by those strong males like he did with Batman and Catwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Grant Gregory. You didn't have to. You're already on the panel, dude. Thank you very much.
Too. Don't worry.
You had one?
Like an hour ago?
Yeah, we got it already.
Yeah, we read
the Eternals didn't even have much of a story, to be honest with you.
It did.
Really?
It was eternally
Oh, no,
boring.
we did not read this one. Fat Steven Seagal for $2 Canadian, eh? For Paulie's dislike, I hope Canada monies works.
Canada monies?
Canada monies. I don't know what it is. Jesus, you can tell Macklyn's a rich dude nowadays. Holy cow.
Macklyn's working again. Macklyn draws for $10. I seriously doubt that in this lifetime we will see an actual proper live action interpretation of Jack Kirby's work. It is a case of the material just not going to do well in live action like Watchmen. What do you guys think about that?
I think genius. I think, look, I'm going to say it this way. Macklyn is 100% right. You can actually do this film. It would be incredibly expensive. You can do Watchmen the right way too, but I don't think you're going to see faithful recreations. Again, it's amazing to me what Denis Villeneuve was able to come up with for Dune, right? That was actually surprising to me. I mean, that he was, and he did it on a budget. Think about how little that film cost.
That's a spoiler.
What?
That comment is a spoiler right there.
That it was as cheap as it was?
No, the one highlighted is a spoiler. That's part of the secret scene, supposedly.
Oh, well, look.
That was me.
Elaine, imagine somebody being able to make the first part of Dune, or the first part that they shot, for 135 to 165 million. What would you say if somebody said that's the budget you have to work with? You think that could be done?
I would go to Denny's.
Well, I think Villeneuve is a very interesting and unique filmmaker. There's not many like him now. He did a wonderful interview. I think it was at the Shanghai International Film Festival. It was last year, maybe. Secrets of Dune has it on his channel. And it really talks about his process as a filmmaker and wanting and what's important to him. Not to be so CGI heavy, but rather to invoke, have real sets, to invoke real emotions from the real performances from the actors. So his focus was more on like locations and building sets that the actors can get the best performance out, very genuine, and that was the most important for him. It was about the performance being genuine and real and proper for what the scene required, and then everything else, like, that was like icing on the cake basically. So they built those, they did what they could for like real sets and practical effects, and the rest they saved for what they needed to, as far as what they couldn't possibly do with that, was just like sandworms and these certain
massive
sequences, spaceships and stuff. So they used it where it counted, but as far as like, it's very character driven. So for the characters, you need to have you need to see Arrakis. So going to Jordan was very important to him. So the money was spent for that, and I think everyone could really see. I don't know what everyone's salaries were, but I think everyone was just so tickled to be there that hopefully, I think they just were so grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the salary negotiations were. I'm sure they definitely had to renegotiate with that, but he definitely seemed to use the money where it counted, but not the focus on CG, just where he needed to have the CG. He, put it in there, not just to have it. Not just to create this spectacle, but it had to serve a purpose.
Well, it's like, I always say it's the prequel, Star Wars prequel movies compared to Peter Jackson's trilogy. So you got these prequels where the entire thing is CGI. And you could tell because these people act like they are on green screens. There is no feel that they're part of the world they're in. Then you get Peter Jackson and you feel like you are in Middle Earth, and that the actors are in Middle Earth and they believe they're there. So they act differently. They act more like the characters. Like taking it away just ruins a movie.
Well, a couple things though on that green
real
screen.
Quick before you go, Darth Hester for $2, and it is what do you call those little guys
That's
again?
A Shiba Inu. That's a
Shiba Inu smiling. Thank you so much. That was really nice of you. I really appreciate it. Go ahead, Mad.
What I was gonna say was like on the green screen on the prequels, you got to remember like it wasn't a thing. It wasn't as used like what it is now.
No, it was new tech because he
so
plays new tech.
Give him a little bit of a break,
I don't.
you know?
I don't give him a little bit of a break on that one because
that's
you could
creepy.
take a movie right now, and make it entirely green screen. You're still gonna have actors.
But they don't even do that.
I understand. What I'm saying is too much CGI ruins it.
You're forgetting one thing though. And that comes to question is for people who've seen Dune. Did they world build enough for Jason Momoa's abs to be relevant?
Yes, they did. I think so.
All right, cool. All right,
But
so we know.
His beard also went on a journey as well.
Modern film. Okay, right now, consider this. Trilith just spent an enormous amount of money and is spending an enormous amount of money to bring an 18,000 square foot space to existence, which is essentially a virtual production studio, just like they use on Mandalorian. So they're going to be using Unreal Game Engine in real time to produce all of the backgrounds, like I said today in the pre-recorded 6-minute daily. That is essentially a world outside. So there's no green screen. It's the virtual world, which is usually a physical world shot, right? It's a physical world shot that they use to recreate the physical world, because it's cheaper to send a cinematographer and a camera guy out to a thing that you want to shoot, and you can just have them shoot that thing all day, and then that goes up. And not only that, they can actually do the weather, because they actually have screens overhead. The screens are entirely surrounding the actors for the most part. So they feel like they're in an environment. The camera, actually now they're using tech that actually syncs the camera to the background. So when they push in, the background comes closer as well. They can do a lot of different shots that you've never been able to do before, because now you're manipulating physical spaces. So you'll be able to show somebody on a desert island who's in this soundstage in this 18,000 square foot space that mimics an actual entertainment environment. The problem is, there's still a problem. It's the same problem that we have with the green screen stuff. Everything still appears plastic. So you're starting to see filmmakers like Denis Villeneuve say these same things. This looks artificial. You can tell it's plastic. This is Marvel. It's plastic. It's Star Wars, right? It looks very Star Wars-y, which is why a lot of people were forgiving of it. But at the same time, there's still some stuff in it that you go, wow, that's clearly not a real place, a real thing. And it works for Star Wars because it's otherworldly. But Dune was shot with a completely different thought process in place, and that's what I love. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to bring myself to the forefront for so long.
Not at all, man. Not at all. Forefront it is. What else do we have to read in this one, or are we going to move on?
Oh, it's up to you. We can do some more if you want. Let's do it. Let's do it. Now, Feige was trying to pitch this crap, hoping that the Disney board was not familiar with the bad sales of characters like Ironheart and Ms. Marvel in the comics. But Bob Chapek was on the ball. He was already aware of Feige's plans if this source is correct. He had done his due diligence, and he knows that this is a losing strategy. He reports. Now, here's the problem with what this is, by the way. And I'm not saying Doomcock's not reporting what he was told, because he probably was.
No, I wouldn't doubt it.
But at the same time, the board could not give two shits. As long as, I'm telling you right now, Disney is a compromised board of directors. Yep. Like over 400 Fortune 500 companies are right now, with people who are buying into the WEF bologna sausage. So there you are with that. So.
But what he's okay, so I got you on that. But do you think his source is correct with Chapek not happy with the direction it's going?
If it's costing money, probably.
Yeah.
Because Chapek's a penny pincher.
Yeah, that's why they brought him in, isn't it? Because he's the one that goes, haha, you all gonna eat crackers with no salt tonight.
Yeah, and Marks, you're 100% right. They do put the green screen behind so they can mock up compositing later. That's also true, but they project it on the background behind them if they need to do like an explosion or crashing waves or something that's not already generated in the scene. You're 1,000% correct. That is exactly right.
Hello, Ruben.
Hey, what's up, Ruben? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. Anyway, beyond that, oh shoot, I rolled it. Okay. Overlord DVD says he called Feige on it. But Feige still had too much juice to be derailed on this disastrous course. But Chapek is, according to sources, taking the long view and playing 4D chess. Chapek knows that Feige is hoping to use original heroes to prop up the underperforming third-rate heroes that appeal to SJWs and no one else.
And I do not doubt that. I mean,
that's
not at
1,000% right.
Yep.
Yeah. He went on. So apparently Chapek is using the lawsuit I reported on earlier to prevent Feige from artificially inflating the success of these projects by incorporating and exploiting the actual star actors, ruining them in the process. This is also probably
true.
Well, that's true. Let's look at Shang-Chi for that one dude, for God's sakes, who's saying, I've never seen an Asian film outside of...
Oh my God, I can't stand
I'm
it.
like, bro, I've seen Jackie Chan films. Kung Fu Legend 2. You craphead.
That was the most important movie of all times.
Yeah, it was. So mad I didn't even see it. I haven't seen any of the new ones. I haven't seen Widow. I haven't seen Shang-Chi, and I don't want to see
I saw Widow.
I saw
Widow, and I just couldn't do any more after that.
Nobody cares anymore.
I will watch Spider-Man. Go ahead, Elaine.
I hear that they're doing, and I hear a lot of complaints now is that they are just sticking with the same mold of storytelling, where there's actually potential in the first two acts. You're actually like really enjoying it, and I did. I liked Black Widow the first two parts, I will say, and then the last act was so outlandish. It just completely undid all of the work that they were trying to do in character development and story that they did before. And I heard the same and I didn't see Shang-Chi, but I heard something very similar something very similar to Eternals, where they did like, you actually have potential, like starting out, like it's actually different, but there's still a good story there, and then completely undermined it with this just outlandish third act.
Go to Storyman after Elaine.
They would have better luck with Remo Williams than Riri Williams. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
no, you're 100% right. And here, this is something I want you to read, Scott, because this is the God's honest truth.
Gary Nerdrotic's take on this should be everything they need to hear. 2008 Iron Man comes out. People come in looking for Stark Iron Man comics. They are presented with Riri Williams. What is that?
Who the F?
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, this is it. You know why Iron Man worked? Because Robert Downey Jr. and Jon Favreau gave us something we weren't ready for. Okay? And at the end, when he said, I am Iron Man, and we were like, wait a minute, he's taking the mask off? Like, he's going to be known? That changed the game, dude.
It did. And but it left space open, right, for other superheroes to maintain their identities and for him to help. And so people could live behind, a mask of sorts, right, if they needed to.
Not just that.
Right?
Real quick, Iron Man was a second tier character.
Yeah, go ahead.
He was well known. He had a cartoon. He had all.
You got Pornbot in the chat, Scott.
We got it.
Yeah, they'll take care of it. Thanks, Pornbot. Please subscribe. This is what I got to say, and then we'll get back to you, Jack, on that one.
Yeah.
What I've been hearing from my sources, I may have one or two, that these directors are actually scared. So they're not scared, but they're being bullied. They're told they're given like you're gonna have the chance to do your type of movie, like this Eternals movie. She was told she had free reign, and they got nervous, and that's why, like you said, Elaine, the first half is one thing, and then they go right back to the formula of nothing could be too serious. You got to get right back to the jokes, and there is no like the most poignant moments. To me, were Infinity War, where they just kept losing. Everything that they did was wrong. Everything they tried ended in disaster. That was magic. Even with Tony Stark's snap was powerful.
Well, but now we have Harry Styles. Now we're gonna have Harry Styles save all of us. With songs.
At least he's hot.
Yeah, I feel like they got into this. I feel like they just have to top themselves every time. That they can't just let a story be a little muted or a little bit. Because Iron Man wasn't that. When you compare it to what a Marvel film is now, it's so different. And especially the third act, it was, it's kind of climactic, but it wasn't like out of the realm of possibility climactic. With Black Widow, it's just, you could not believe, she does not have any powers, by the way.
Right.
She's human.
Is she? Are you
the last
sure?
act, I was like, I don't know what I'm watching. This doesn't seem possible. So they they made it too outlandish, too much. But they feel like they feel like they have to top themselves the next time. And now it's just no one relates to that. You can do something simple but still be profound. And I feel like they just MCU has lost that.
I agree with you.
Well, she has one superpower: to sue for money. That's what Black Widow has, to sue for money.
Well, don't forget, Black Widow's not allowed to use her sexuality anymore. Like, that was what she's a Black Widow.
Yeah, she's a spy. You use all the tools in your toolbox.
Exactly. I always thought she was very intelligent and just used everything she like. I don't know.
She played men. She played men. That was her whole, like, from the moment we saw her, she was playing those men. You know, taking that phone call was like one of the most brilliant moments in a movie.
When they hired her, right? When they hired Natasha to work for Stark, right?
Yep.
Okay, brilliant, genius, right? Yep. Genius moment into, and that happens, right? And then in the next film,
Avengers, that's the best part.
You see her, playing the dude like a fiddle. I'm like, that is so true to that character, and I miss that those true things, right? But when J-Pod gets it right here, I think. Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and Eternals, all three didn't work for me. Shang-Chi was nothing like the character. Shang-Chi shouldn't have powers or high tech. Black Widow just felt like the most copy. There you go.
Yeah. Well, and like I was saying, the thing about these characters, I knew who Tony Stark was. I didn't do comic books. I didn't watch all that stuff. I would see it on the cartoons, when I watched Spider-Man and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I knew who Tony Stark was. I didn't know what the Eternals was. I had to do research before I went and saw it. I didn't know who Riri Williams was because it was, all these are things that nobody knows about.
Right.
That they're just throwing up there on the screen.
Because they won with Guardians of the Galaxy. They thought after that they could pick anybody and make it work. But the problem with that is the actors brought something amazing to those characters. You got the voice actor for Rocket. You hit a home.
It was meant to be that way. It was meant to be foolhardy and funny.
Yes. So I have a feeling the next aren't going to work. I have a feeling like with the Eternals, from what I have seen, they're very flat and they're very, now granted, like I would have loved to see, they've been around for like 8,000 years. Their ideas of time should have been disordered. Their idea of like mankind were children, and it just felt like they were kind of childish and they were like not these ancient beings that they were.
You just need a Sprite, Scott.
That speaks to a generation of children, right? They are aiming for the last 20 years of kids. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point. These films are aiming towards this audience who's immature. They're developmentally disabled in a way, right? That's who they're aiming at. I'm sorry. I'm refraining from using the R word because apparently that's upsetting to some people. But that's actually what's going on here, and that's why these films are dumbed down, lack character development, and are essentially a trophy for everyone, kind of like what YouTube's doing right now.
Culture, you just call them reality challenged.
Well,
I like that.
I don't know that works.
Well, what's the common denominator so far?
Dumbasses.
They keep using the snowflake thing.
Yeah, it's 100% snowflakes, and that's the problem with the storytelling. And you would know, Storyman Jack, you write stories. You know what?
It's like they're afraid to tell the story.
They're afraid. Look, hey, Master of the TDS will tell you the psychology of it all.
Yes,
topic therapy stuff. You should check that dude out because
real good.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing, and so is Writing Raven. I mean, they actually went toe to toe with some of these nut bars the other night because Gail Simone came swinging for him, and I'm like, you guys are crazy.
She did the same thing to me almost exactly a year to the
year ago. I know, I remember, and I'm like, well, thank you for helping grow my channel, knucklehead.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
She also came after Lyndon. Like she loves to go after fans. She loves to go after fans.
Do it on Twitter. You've seen her. She can't get a SeaWorld except once a month. So,
but this is what blows my mind. When in the entire history of the world did they allow, or history of movies, when was it okay for the creators to attack the fans? When has that ever been okay, except for the last handful of years? We live in bizarro world, people. and they have to be checked. We have to support people that fight against this. This is a culture war. I don't care what anybody says. We started these channels talking about, Star Wars. I started mine because of Game of Thrones, but it has turned into a culture war. Okay, we are defending, as Walton and others say, we're defending our modern myths and legends, and they're trying to use those hyperbolic terms to attack us and attack our character and make it seem like we don't have a right to speak our minds, but we do.
Just remember, the universal truths are still true. They always will be. The hero's journey, the way our folklore and our mythology is built, these are universal truths, and this is what they're trying to take away at every step, at every corner.
It's not even just the truce at this point, Jack. Hi. I'm like Widow.
That's fantastic.
That is so
Whose face is that?
That's
Az.
Oh, okay.
And my penis is
Ryan
confused.
Johnson for a second.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But we're also at a point now where whether it's even coming from Disney and film, it's even we got now on YouTube. It's the fact that we already knew Hollywood. This has been like this forever. They don't want to take chances. They don't want to make money. Disney's now stuck in this loophole where this circle, this paradoxical circle where they keep going around doing the same formula, same thing, same delivery, same everything, and it's just they're just throwing different heroes in it, different villains in it, and we're not seeing anything that is going outside of the ring of their own creativity. What we're expecting to see, what makes us attach ourselves to different things, and this can be said with He-Man, this can be said with She-Ra. Anything that's come out in a reboot or remake, let's say the last 10 years, has been nothing more than a sham, switch and bait, lie, figment of our imaginations, or we're one of the isms, phobics, or anything else. No matter what's happening, it's already there. But we're seeing this with Eternals, that even the critics now are like, what the
But beyond all of that, Steven, you're not wrong, okay? But at the same time, you are seeing this is what's happening in modern media across the board. So just pay attention. They are trying to make the villains the good guys because guess what? They know they're the villains.
Yeah, that's what
they know. They're the villains.
Look
they
at this.
Identify with the villains. So
Read that.
I can't wait for the retrospective Buffalo Bill. I can't wait.
Read that.
Me?
Master of the TDS says they called us Yahtzees when we are Jewish. Like these people have the words don't. They don't care the meaning of it anymore. They know it's a term that people will see and they'll now relate to Master of TDS, even though he's a Jewish person.
Yeah,
like these people are dumb and they're dangerous. They're dangerous.
Well, they moved away from that term when they ran it into the ground. So now it's just all white supremacists.
Yeah, but that's getting destroyed. Even that. I mean, Matt, you have to agree that thing has run its course already.
Yeah,
right. Let me give you guys a little bit of advice with people like Gail Simone. Just Gail, go eat a pie and leave me alone.
Shadow.
Well, and you know what? She's already had plenty, so I don't know that that's going to help any. But let's go ahead and get this out of the way. We got one more coming up, Scott. I think that's about what we have time for.
Toxic Man flew for $5. I have subbed to Mad and unsubbed from Culture. There is only so much awesome one troll can take.
Well, you made the right choice.
Toxic, are you being held against your will? Blink twice.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, at least he knows I'm awesome. That's all I care about. By the way, I love Toxic Man Flu. He supports everybody. Great video clip that I think everybody should have where he says great things about myself and Scott and comics. And, he's a good man. In fact, you know what? Gary actually said that. That's the clip I got from Gary saying it on Timcast IRL, saying great things about me and Scott and comics and the people that are really important.
Well, he also said this here too.
They've done great. We got Culture Casino out there. We got Sporking News Podcast. We got author Stephen Walton. We've got Lorena Creel. We've got Vigilante Williamson. We got Jake D. I'm forgetting someone. Oh my God, I'll remember it later. Brain fart. But he says Kathleen Kennedy will never be fired.
Is it me? You forget me?
Yeah, Scott.
Funny, Scott, true.
Scott, you forgot the secret scene.
Oh, here's a secret scene. Here it is.
Yeah.
Young neurotic for another two. I'm not neurotic.
That's too low.
The closed captions, I know.
That's Steven's goal.
They
no,
go
let's just put it this way.
sometimes.
I came in there with an alt account as a young neurotic, and I had his face without the beard, and he thought it was his wife for a good 20-30 minutes. So eventually, okay, I got to super chat this and tell him it's not Miss Neurotic.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. For another $10, what are you doing, Macklyn? Thank you. Thank you for the money, but God, man, I appreciate, guys. Make sure you are subbing. Macklyn is pushing to 1,000. He's getting close. Couple hundred
very
more.
well deserved.
Yes, he works hard. He works very hard.
Yeah.
He does. He shafts it.
He does. And for $10, he says, I had a back and forth spout with one of the fans going after Raven last night on Twitter. They called me conservative for calling them closed-minded and compared what I was saying to the Holocaust. Wow.
Dumb.
Dude,
MFers.
That guy was nuts because I even went at him too, and he kept calling me schmuck, and he kept projecting stuff about how the new She-Ra wasn't sexy enough, and thinking we're all these types of people. And I'm like, when did I ever say that men kissing men is bad? When did She-Ra? What She-Ra wasn't sexy enough? I didn't watch the cartoon. This guy was at everyone, and he had Antifa in his name too. And the whole he was just looking for attention.
It was
S. Cody, Commissar the Thunder Dragon, also known as Michael.
Wasn't watching the new She-Ra like watching two men kissing?
Wow.
I'd rather watch two men kiss. Masters of TDS for I got a video. Masters of TDS for $4.99. You guys are awesome. You too. And Gail, not so much. Not so much. No, she's terrible, dude.
But right now,
grew my channel. She grew my channel.
She does. She grows everything but wieners. Anyway, for the 35 of you that are out there right now, thanks for being here. And you know what? Support Scott in every way you can in future streams. Do him a huge favor.
Yes.
Do me.
Share the heck out of what he's doing because he deserves it. He's diving into shorts. That sounded weird. He's also doing the occasional video, which he needs to do more of.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and then he does these amazing live streams. We get to dump twice a week. Dumping is great. You guys, it's healthy for you. You just have to make sure to completely eliminate. And of course, the great Nick Cookies says something good.
Yeah, for $2, he can't find Mad Mardigan's channel. Is he real?
No.
Yes. Yeah, it's actually Mad Barber Entertainment. That's why.
Yeah, it's Mad Barber something.
Entertainment.
I think everyone here should take reference from Toxic Man Flu's super chat. Everyone unsub to Sporking and just sub to Fat Steven instead because
there you go.
Only one awesome troll you can have.
You got the troll of trolls
and Nerd Cookies.
And he's sponsored by Raid Shadow.
Bro, hold on, let me do that. Raid Shadow Legends. Give me that $6,000. I really can use some taquitos.
We have 20 minutes to get through one more story, so we're not going to do it justice. So let's get it done. Here we go.
Let's try it.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, I hit the button. What? Oh, there it is. Da-da-da-da.
Broke it.
What do we got?
We have Dune director Denis Villeneuve claims Star Wars lost its seriousness and elegance after The Empire Strikes Back.
He is correct.
I think he might be right.
I can see where he would say that. Yes.
Yeah.
I cannot disagree with him. Although that does not take away for the love of the other movies that I have.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
During the promotion of his latest film, Dune, director Denis Villeneuve recently discussed Frank Herbert's novel influencing George Lucas, but also how Star Wars influenced his adaptation of Dune. So it's a circle jerk. Anyway, Villeneuve's comments.
Isn't that that's a common Hollywood thing?
Oh yeah, that's
a circle force jerk because you got to at least represent Star Wars.
You know what? Here's the thing: you can't force yourself too hard. I'm just saying. Villeneuve's comments about Star Wars and Dune came in a discussion with the playlist Rodrigo Perez. Perez would broach the subject of Star Wars, telling Villeneuve, I try not to disparage the maestro, Mr. Lynch, and move on. Yet it's interesting, all this stuff you're talking about the real depth of Dune, the cultures, the religions. It reminds me of a comment you made a long time ago about Dune and wanting to make Star Wars for adults. And it's funny. Star Wars has all that. Religion, politics, etc. But it was far less sophisticated compared to Herbert's consideration of the same ideas. That might be true. I read the books, so did Nerd Cookies. Villeneuve responded, "It's very."
I read the books, so did Nerd Cookies. Snob.
I did just as good as that.
I think the reporter may be like a little.
Yeah.
The reporter's
may be a
reporter's
little shady.
in bitch mode. Sounds like it.
Looked like he was gonna shade David Lynch. I don't know.
Okay, well, beyond that,
Yeah, Culture Cookies. Can you continue, please?
no, I will. Actually, I'm going to have to become Culture Cookies now.
There you go.
Oh my God, I am culture.
Villeneuve responded, "It's a very delicate thing to talk about Star Wars because everything will be dissected." And I will say that I was also a big Star Wars fan. The first 2 Star Wars films and the one that became A New Hope later on, The Empire Strikes Back, were by far movies that had a massive influence on me when I was young. They are probably one of the reasons I became a filmmaker now, which I completely understand. Mm-hmm. There's a
especially
link,
since I wouldn't have written a single word if it hadn't been for that movie.
That's amazing. That's good news, man. There's a link, of course. I discovered Dune after having seen the first Star Wars and probably after seeing Empire. So these movies and the fact that I was drawn into a book like Dune probably had something major to do with loving Star Wars, he stated. He continued, "Now, it's interesting to know that, as everybody knows, Star Wars, in a way, is very interesting Dune adaptation because George Lucas was deeply inspired himself from Dune. And here I was having to try to make a new adaptation of Dune, but having to deal with the white elephant in the room, which is Star Wars, meaning that it was kind of full circle echo. Star Wars being influenced by Dune.
He even had Oscar Isaac as a pilot.
Yeah, or it was a forced dyad jerk, as Nick Cookie said. For
you know what? It might be. You know what? Somebody might be looking for more glory hole days.
Yeah.
So a force hole.
Always.
Glory hole days.
Yes.
And it is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Some glory hole.
Disrespectful. That man's a legend.
It's funny every time.
Every time. Every time.
Hasn't been funny once.
That's hilarious.
So
it's kind of funny.
Star Wars being.
Yeah,
Cookie Casino. There you go. Star Wars being influenced by Dune and us making a movie about Dune and being influenced by Star Wars, it was an interesting way of seeing things. Long pause. Okay.
Long pause.
Villeneuve then discussed the seriousness of Empire Strikes Back. There's something about Empire Strikes Back. I can't be a pretentious French asshat. So
how long was the pause that he had to say it?
No, wait, right? Well, I said long pause.
He continued in science fiction. The serious stuff for me.
You know what? Empire Strikes Back to me is as dark as Spider-Man No Way Home.
Well, it's probably going to be.
Probably as dark. Yeah.
There's something about The Empire Strikes Back, the darkness of it, the tragic elements of it, the way I was feeling in that precise moment about Star Wars. There was something really serious about it that I deeply loved. He continued.
Well, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people feel that way because it was not directed by Lucas.
It was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It had a much different feel because of Kirshner. Yeah.
Oh, different tone. Mm-hmm. Science fiction is serious stuff for me. It's something that I love when it considers life and existence serious. It's like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I have so much reverence. That's what I have. No.
He's not American.
English is not his first language. So
yeah.
It might be.
You gotta say that's what I have. So much reverence for Blade Runner.
Allowance must be made.
And 2001: A Space Odyssey. When the people are taking sci-fi seriously, it's so powerful.
You got to act like you're talking about a woman's body.
Let me tell you more, silly Luke Skywalker, and I just feel they lost it like that. They lost the arrogance, I say.
The director then claims they lost the seriousness and elegance following The Empire Strikes Back. So there was something in The Empire Strikes Back,
like my tongue.
In its darkness, in the way it was approaching the psychological path of Luke Skywalker.
In my croissant and his lightsaber, and we had a façon.
I just wanted him to kiss his sister.
I wanted to stroke his beard hair and call him Cookie Casino.
Apparently, we're done with the article.
No. That was fun.
Let's talk more about cultures
I
here.
love you, culture.
I want to hear when he says it loses it, though. He hasn't
Okay.
said that yet.
And I just feel like they lost that after. They
there we
lost
go.
that elegance. He elaborated. And it was maybe something that I was referring to when I said, "Oh, I wish Dune was in a way." My idea was back to that early Star Wars spirit.
Well, that
Speaking of ways, he did capture that.
Villeneuve concluded, joking, "That must not. You must not publish that. I'm going to be crucified."
Everything's published.
I totally believe that. I never left Star Wars.
Now we have
Wait a
your
minute, is he-
MCU opinions and your Star Wars opinions.
Is he
That's
a
why
Japanese
you-
anime guy all of a sudden?
That's why you always do this on background. Come on, guys.
Senpai.
Well, I tell you what, he's not wrong.
Well, look, tonally, it was a shift. The first film had, a certain amount of humor and a different kind of heart. Then tonally, Empire brings you into the more serious realities of the things that we're confronting.
Yeah.
The third film goes back to the first film in a lot of ways. You still have some darkness there, right? So I don't know that it completely
Yeah,
abandoned
but
the
you know
idea.
what? Like, if you look at Empire Strikes
the
Back,
third one was kind of a blending of the two.
well,
I think so.
but all right. So if we go to the prequels, like Return of the Sith, like that third movie should have been as dark or darker than Empire Strikes Back, because there is no redemption for many, 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 many years. So like at that point, we think there will be no redemption for him. We think that the Jedi are all gone. We think it's all over. Like, I think he has a valid point. Like, if he was going to do any movie again like Empire, it should have been that third prequel movie.
I agree with you. But
Well,
Nick
here's the problem with that.
Nick Cookie says the most important thing of the night.
Oh, wow. I read that completely wrong. Don't give Culture any crap. He is a jewel.
He's a
I read
peanut.
it the
I
same
said
way.
I said I love you, culture.
I know.
I
I
love
saw
you too, culture. You're like one of those ring pops. Everyone wants
You
some
are a
lick.
jewel.
In my opinion, he could not have made Revenge of the Sith as dark as it could have been, because literally everybody who watched it knew where it was going.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
knew he was going to become Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So they couldn't really bank the same way on that darkness the way they did in Empire. So I think he made the right decision. There's never going to be another Empire. There's just not.
No, but
You,
at the same
you
time,
know,
sorry.
Yeah,
Well, it
Lane, you
was
got the bigger
interesting.
channel. You go first.
Wow.
Whoa.
Then you go before me.
You got the bigger balls.
I actually found these comments so interesting, and I love that he's very respectful. I don't love everything that has Star Wars in the name. There's things
Right.
that I gravitate to more. Certain stories, more like the Old Republic era and the original trilogy era. And Empire Strikes Back is my favorite, probably for more of the reasons that he's speaking to as well. Like there's so much more at stake. There's so much. The progression of each characters is so monumental, and it's so well done, and yeah, it doesn't resolve to a happy ending. There's so much that it leaves you with. You feel kind of heavy, and you're left with such like what's going on with Han, Luke, and Darth Vader. Like what? And I love that feeling of.
Happy ending.
All I want to add is that it was the perfect middle film, right? It was crafted as the perfect place to leave it, so that the audience needed the conclusion. You needed the third act. That's the biggest problem that we have right now, especially with the Marvel stuff, right? The first act needs to draw you in. It needs to develop the world and the circumstance everything lives in, right? Which is where Marvel's failing right now, to be honest with you. So it needs to bring you into it, right? The second act sets up all of the conflicts, everything that's happening in the world, the initial threat, then the subsequent threats that are going to be much bigger in scale, and then the third act sets up all of the various forms of resolutions. It may introduce another character that their powers may come to bear. All of this stuff happened in the Star Wars trilogy. If you're looking at a perfect trilogy, that's it, because of the way it sets things up. There's not a lot of perfect out there in the world.
I think it was like the Ewoks, probably, because you're intercut with the very serious scenes of Palpatine and Vader and Luke, and intercut with like Ewoks like taking down stormtroopers. I think that's probably what it is, because that inconsistent tone. You have such a serious moment for Luke, and then the teddy bears kind of thing, and that's a problem that I struggle with. But overall, it is such a good film. So I love Return of the Jedi for what it does for Luke's character, but I can see where some might and George Lucas had struggled with that consistent tone before. I think in Star Wars, the original film, if you go back to like how Star Wars was saved in the edit, originally he had planned to cut the first space battle, the epic introduction, with Luke just like pilling around on Tatooine, like doing nothing, and we would have been left with like, who is this dude? He had nothing to do with the story. So they cut those scenes because it just didn't mesh well with what was going on on the ships with Darth Vader and attacking Leia's ship. So I think he had a little bit of an issue with intercutting scenes and keeping that consistent tone. So I think and then later, like, there was other ways where it was a little wildly inconsistent, but a little bit like there it was starting to come to, we can see little
that's where you see his influence over the editing bay. I'm sorry, that's all I needed to add. Yeah, and I think that's where that came from.
But I do feel like actually Dune Part 1 reminded me a lot of how Empire Strikes Back ended. Because
for sure.
A lot of stuff needed to be resolved, and that's like the big. It's not a cliffhanger, but it did feel like.
I think as far as the Ewoks go is because like he wanted to have Wookiees, but he couldn't, it just wasn't possible at that time. Yeah,
he needed a bunch of 7 foot tall guys.
Yeah,
that's not like you don't have that.
As far as the Empire Strikes Back, I think one thing that works in this favor, and a lot of people don't really do it, like, is there's no MacGuffin really. You know what I mean? The first and the third, right, or the fourth and the sixth, depending on how you want to say it. You had that MacGuffin of like the Death Star, this, you know what I mean? But this one, it just felt more natural of the way the story, eventually like played out.
Just life in this world.
Yeah, there was no time. There was no ticking time, time bomb or anything like that. You just able to just go through the story's progression. That's all I wanted to.
That was beautiful, man. Well done.
That was deep. I really felt it. All right, we're going to be closing it up soon, guys. Anybody have any last words on this stuff? We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Please.
Actually, I just want to add in with Jedi. I know we got the Ewoks and stuff, but if we're looking at the battle of the sorry,
never say sorry. That's perfect.
It's always a surprise.
It is. But Jedi had one thing that was amazing, and like I come from the kid that loves the space battles, and he upped his game from when it came from A New Hope to Jedi. Like Hoth, we got the Hoth battle. We had that,
and you start with
AT-STs, AT-ATs, snowtroopers. You're in the trenches, and then you get to Jedi, and Jedi is just this incomplete Death Star, and you just see Mon Calamari cruisers and interdictor. You see all this thing going on, and as much as the Ewoks people like point out, it is negated by the Palpatine and that where you're seeing Lando.
I agree.
That even if it wasn't taken out, it would still mesh.
Yeah,
and I think the Ewoks have their spot, except for that goddamn song with the Yum-Num.
The great one of my favorite lines of the whole thing. No, Your Majesty. I'm a Jedi like my father.
It still gives you chills.
It does.
Luke's progression was so perfect. I loved it. But I think this was just his personal take. If this was when he was starting to read Dune, I'm sure that affected how he loves the more serious sci-fi. So I think he just really gravitated to that, and he just didn't connect as much with, because it is a more hopeful film, which I loved. I love that Return of the Jedi like took all of those the tragedy that came before, and with Luke's story, how especially I loved personally his story arc but Darth Vader's especially in comparison to that.
At least it sounds like we can all agree that Villeneuve is actually coming from a decent thought process.
Disney, Disney. I think it makes sense though for Dune though. It makes sense his thoughts for Dune because Star Wars is not Dune. It should be more serious. It should.
I may just not agree totally with him, but he is right on. He's not wrong either.
No. Well, that's the thing. He's like all worried about getting destroyed by the fans. But when you say something that is thought out and it doesn't, we don't have
respectful.
You got to respect him for saying it. Even if we didn't agree with him, you still got to respect him for being thoughtful.
Maybe he was also
respectful to Lucas, so yeah.
But he was also probably coming from the retrospect that he has seen Twitter online, and a lot more of these people are aware of the psychopaths, especially if he's talking about Star Wars and he's actually seen the whole Carano stuff that's gone over the last year. And just as a back memory, and everyone else who's been canceled over just having an opinion, especially with Chappelle recently.
Absolutely.
He is probably taking all this stuff into consideration depending on his timeline and saying this not only as a joke, but in the back of his mind is like, I know the types of people out there that can't take criticism or an opposite opinion. So he was making a laugh of it, but he was also scared at the same time. That's where I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Nick Cookie for $2. Did you say Mad Garbage Entertainment? Still nothing. Still nothing.
No, it's Sporking is an asshat.
Barber.
Yeah, that's that.
Mad Barber Entertainment.
True.
Okay. Actually, his link's going to be in the description because Scott.
Do you have an?
I didn't actually this time by accident. Isn't that weird? I always put people's.
You put my link twice. What the hell, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Toxic Manflu for $2. I love you, buddy. He's a channel member. Become a channel member today. Thank God this is almost over. Sub to Fat Steven. And Mr. Tickle Trunk for Canadian $2. I love him. Subscribe to Fat Steven. He paid me more than Scott. Son of a bitch.
Hey, it's not my. It's also true because I can't believe. Well, he's also on my B5 panel, and Patricia Tallman just agreed to come back on. So hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe to everyone. We usually don't do outros anymore, but we do have some newer, smaller channels on. Yeah, well, we got Storyman Jack here, and he needs to get. Where are you at, Storyman?
Oh, thank you.
I write stories. I put them on YouTube. All genres, all types, everything.
What are you at sub-wise?
401.
401. All right, so let's get him to 500 by Christmas.
Yeah, let's try to get like
350 for like 6 months.
Oh, it happens.
I told you, if you followed the plan, you'd be way over that. But.
Well, I burned
Jack, you just gotta get those porn accounts to sub to you, man. You just gotta get all those porn bots in there. You know?
I got like 80 of them.
Those are most of my comments. So.
Yeah.
Or just start streaming Twitch ASMR on your channel as a host.
Am I getting talking?
It was beautiful. I love it when he does that.
You were fantastic.
Thank you, Toxic. I love you, brother. Tickle.
Well, you're talking about Dune and Star Wars. I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
Why aren't you doing a breakdown retrospective of Kingdom Hearts then?
So just so you guys are aware, I'm going to start doing the Just the Tips.
I don't know if we do well.
You probably would.
I'm going to do the Just the Tip stuff.
Just the Tip.
Next week. Yeah. And then, writing tips.
Oh.
Once a week will be a story or a chapter of my science fiction story I'm writing. And then I'm going to do a great rewrite every week on one of the stories already up.
Just a tip.
Yep.
Why is there?
Awesome.
I like this one. Why is there a guy with a hockey mask and a machete in Storyman Jack's window?
That's my neighbor. It's just my neighbor.
Good guy.
Just give him the tip.
Anybody else like to do an outro?
Mr. Grant Gregory.
I hit 200, but then YouTube decided not to like me, so I'm back down to 178. So, you'll just see me around mooching off other people's channels until I get my ass in gear and get everything sorted on mine.
Yeah, dude.
You'll see me this weekend on Full Aussie. I'm back again.
Awesome.
So
Nice.
Awesome.
You should be a regular. Mad Cheesemo.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, great. Fat Steven, would you like to say anything?
Raid Shadow Legends.
Thank you all. Remember to sub if you like the channel, like if you like the channel, dislike. Who cares? They won't see it anymore.
That's true.
Other than that,
Dislike all you want.
End of the day, just keep being you in the chat and just do what the hell you want to do, man. You got to wake up and go to sleep with yourself most of all. So why not make that person the most selfish out there?
There you go. Mr. Tickle Trunks for $2 says Fat Steven also pays me in forehead kisses.
Oh, I read that
sit on the
completely
space.
wrong.
Is that why his avatar looks so sad?
Yeah, it's probably.
What the hell?
I love that avatar. And Nerd Cookies, thank you, Elaine, for being here.
Asthma.
You bring some class to our beautiful.
Yeah, we need it.
I try.
Oh, come on, Culture, you have to pay.
Yeah.
Try.
Thank you so much. Guys, check out Nerd Cookies. Culture, thank you as always, my friend.
You have a $5 super chat from Culture Casino. I think it's propaganda.
What? Sub to Mad, please, for $5. Who's mad?
I hang out with Mad Martigan at Mad Barber Entertainment multiple times a week.
Wait a minute. Did he just win you by going, I don't want to say anything?
No. But he's always.
Oh, you misrepresented that, Scott. I didn't say like, oh, I don't want anything. I was like, no, I guess I don't have anything to say.
No. It really sounded like I don't have anything to say.
No, well then you do a horrible job at listening.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what my wife says.
And here, well, yeah.
Snippy.
But here's the wow. Wow.
Wait a minute, was that about me, the snip? I'm all confused.
Snap.
Oh my gosh.
I just want to say I love all my channel members. The more you know. Have a great night, everybody.
I love you.
Night.
I still haven't gotten royalties from that picture you've taken from me for over a year, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
God, my shop skills were horrible back then.
Oh, they're amazing.
They're horrible.
Mad Martigan. Brah, brah. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you.